Shabbat Shalom. Let's do it one more time. Shabbat Shalom. It is it is good to be here. I every week there's a little something that happens. A couple of weeks ago I had a really difficult week and this week just flew by. I'm not sure if that was the same for everyone else. Perhaps it was the storm during the middle of the week or something, but I feel like it was Monday and then all of a sudden it was Friday. But here we are, and it is always special to be welcoming Shabbat together. And our ritual is to set some intention to try to leave some of the week behind, and it takes a little work to do that. So let's take a deep breath in and release. Feeling your shoulders relax, maybe some of the tension in your neck release a little bit. Take another deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. Think about all the things this week that may have been challenging, stressful, difficult. Take another little extra breath in, hold it, and a big release. Let all of that go. Feel yourself relax. And one more breath in. As our energy shifts into Shabbat, we breathe in a deep breath of thanks, of gratitude for sacred time, for holy community. And we release and give thanks for Shabbat. Our opening song is literally called Shabbat Shalom, and it is by Beth Stiles. And if you don't know it, the words are pretty easy. And it's call and response, even easier, which means I think you can probably figure it out and sing with Annika because you don't want to sing with me.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, peace for everyone, Shabbat Shalom, la la la. Ya la la, ya la la,
continue with lighting our Shabbat candles and offering Kiddush, it's my pleasure to ask Ginny and Dennis Lehman to come forward as we turn to page 3. And it's our custom also, if you'd like to light your own Shabbat candles, to come forward as well to the side of the sanctuary. And I'm going to have you come right over here. And you need a microphone, so here you go.
Okay. No, I got it. Do I wait for everybody to light? Okay. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
The heaven and earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Our opening reading is found on page 29. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. And we call out to God with the Baruch Hu, our call to worship, on page 28. Please rise in body or spirit.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed.
Continue on page 32, Ahavat Olam. We sang this last week with the incomparable Dan Nichols. Ahavat Olam is a song of love for the love that God has for God's people through teaching Torah and our sacred obligations.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Veta Amcha Veta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu Uvkumeinu na'asiach bechukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha Uv'mitzvotecha le'olam vaed Ki heim chayenu Ve'orech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla Nege yomam v'layla V'havatcha al tasir Mimenu le'olamim Baruch ata Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Ohev amo Yisrael
Continue with the Shema, reciting the unity and our declaration for our connection to God.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meotecha vehayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha Vehayu latotafot bein einecha uktavtam amazuzot betecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai veyitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lehiot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 39, as we prepare to sing Micha Mocha, we're almost there, right? Monday night is Passover. We're almost ready to cross the Red Sea. We've got to, sing a little bit, eat some maror, some charoset, talk about some plagues. But the Israelites are about to be free. And so on page 39, the bottom, the second reading, I think about the timelessness of the Passover story. It's timeless for us, and it teaches us an extraordinary lesson about compassion. Because we were slaves in Egypt, we know that our obligation is to pay attention to all of those who are not free. For whatever reason, they are not free. And so I'd like to ask us to read this reading responsively by paragraph. You'll take the indented paragraphs. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered, and at Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. We turn the page and sing together.
Yai lai lai la lai lai la la lai yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai ya lai la lai 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 la la lai yai lai 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 ya la la lai lai mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Norat tehilot osef eleh Norat tehilot osef eleh Malechutecha ra'u v'anecha Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Ze'elianu ve'amru Ze'elianu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Norat tehilot osef eleh Norat tehilot osef eleh.
We turn from talking about freedom and the Israelites' freedom to Hashkivenu, a prayer for really peace, a prayer for protection. Page 42. As I think about the Hashkivenu on this Shabbat, I think not of our protection, not asking God for a Sukkot Shalom for us, but really asking each of us to lift up our words, our prayers, our hearts for Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace for all of those in Israel, all of those who are struggling for some measure of peace, some measure of shalom in that region. Whether that literally be a physical shelter of peace or that be some measure of spiritual peace as each day goes on. We sing together.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu LeShalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu LeChaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu LeShalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu LeChaim V'hamidenu Shomreinu LeChaim Ushmor Tzeiteinu Uvoleinu L'chaim u'shalom Me'ata ve'ad olam Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu LeShalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu LeChaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu LeShalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu LeChaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu LeShalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu LeChaim V'hamidenu Shomreinu
Vishamru is our reminder of the beauty and celebration of Shabbat, that we have been given this gift of holy time. And so we should mark it with yet more singing. So let's turn to page 44.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
We continue with the tefillah, which begins on page 46 with an introduction to our prayers and then continues page 48, 50, and 52. We'll chant straight through. Please rise in body or spirit.
Adonai sefaitai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'Neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei kol atah, Rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim ve'rofeh holim. Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, umito melach, melech meimit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. We continue on page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lehodot. On page 60, Shalom Rav is a prayer for abundant peace, for great peace. On Shabbat, the only thing we ask for is peace. And so we ask God for abundant peace here and throughout the world.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Tahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
Every Shabbat, we take time to think of those who are in need of healing, whether it be a healing of body, a healing of spirit, and whether it be a healing for mental health, physical health, for the struggles of life. As my hand passes over our community here in the sanctuary, I hope you'll share aloud the names of loved ones or even yourself if you are in need of healing. And if you're at home, I hope you'll lift up in the chat names of loved ones who are in need of healing on this Shabbat. We join with the names that have been shared aloud, the names that reside still in our heart. And we sing our prayer, our Mishaberach, can be found on page 253 if you need the words.
Misheberach Avoteinu Mekor Habracha Laimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach Aimotenu Mekor Habracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We take a few moments now for silent reflection.
acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Yehu l'ratzon.
Funny, I didn't realize we did 2 call and response this week. One by Beth Stiles and one by Noah Boudin, correct? Okay. There should be plenty. Do we have extra sheets? I forgot to give one to Annika. Thank you. All right. So, we are in the dreaded book of Leviticus. It's the book that no rabbi wants to give out for Torah portions, the book that no rabbi really loves preaching about. And so I thought I would spend a few minutes about why I actually really like, as I celebrate my 25th year in the rabbinate, why I actually am beginning to like the book of Leviticus and how that is meaningful to me, and why I think even this year it might give us something that we need. So let me now, one of the things, actually, I give credit to Susan Merdler every time, which is I always give more than we're going to get through. So as you're looking at this sheet, we're not going to do all these texts. You're not going to be here. If your tummy is growling, you're not going to be here till 9:30. Don't worry. All right. So the book of Leviticus, I loved this first connection by Lance Sussman. Rabbi Lance Sussman was a rabbi. He served a congregation in Philadelphia for many, many years, also wrote a number of books, and was an extraordinary orator and preacher. What he had to say about the book of Leviticus is that literally it's between a rock and a hard place, right? So we know the book of Exodus, right? It's the story. It's the story of the Israelites. They received Torah. We're reading it right now, right? They're slaves. There's so much drama, right? How many movies could we make out of the book of Exodus? It's good stuff, right? And then the book of Numbers. This is when they really learn who they are. They're continuing their journey. And then smack there in the middle is this book of Leviticus, between a rock and a hard place. So we tend to avoid it. It's also in the spring, lots of bar and bat mitzvahs, as I said before. And so the last sentence, it's just a territory we must traverse in order to get to the next major site on our annual pilgrimage through the 5 books of Moses. As we read the book of Leviticus, there's not much narrative there. What happens in the book of Leviticus, if you look at the next text, which I wrote, Leviticus begins with 7 chapters describing sacrifices. Who wants to read about sacrifices? Not so much. Followed by the death of Aaron's 2 older sons. Not so fun. And then it goes on with more sacrifices, more rituals. We learn about keeping kosher. We learn about all of these. We learn a lot. We're learning this week, last week, this week, and next week, all about leprosy, skin diseases, how to take control of skin diseases, all of these things that seem completely irrelevant. It feels irrelevant to our modern sensibilities. The detailed descriptions of sacrifices and laws are in stark opposition to the way most of us believe and practice our Judaism. So not only does Leviticus not have a lot of narrative, what it does have is rule after rule, idea and rule after rule, and description after description of things that we don't and can't seem to relate to. But what's the point of Leviticus? The point of Leviticus is the relationship between God and the people of Israel. What are they trying to do when they make sacrifices? What are they trying to understand with people with skin diseases? What are they trying to recognize when coming up with laws for the priests? They're trying to figure out what a relationship between them and God is all about. Their modality was starkly different, but the language of offerings provides a path for shared connection. Hey, if I make a sacrifice, maybe God will listen. Maybe God will listen. The Hebrew word for offering is korban, and the root comes from to come close. Sacrifice is the way that our ancestors had a relationship with God and expressed their spirituality. We want also to come close, to be spiritual, to connect with God. Certainly, we do not do that with sacrifices, nor do we have any desire to do that with sacrifices. But we still want to come close. We still want to be in relationship. So I want to skip the next text, and I want to look at the text Holiness in the Middle. It's much longer. It's from a colleague, she probably will be one day, Rabbi Rachel Barenblatt. She represents the renewal movement, and my connection with her is that she grew up in San Antonio, and her parents were my congregants in San Antonio. She also happens to be a magnificent writer. And what she talks about is, what does it mean for something to be in the middle? Leviticus is the middle book, right? And when we're talking about biblical scholarship, we have to make really difficult vocabulary words for things that are in the middle. If you're a scholar of anything, you know, scholars love to make up tough words. So that's the first sentence. Many scholars and rabbis and literary critics make the case that the Torah has a chiastic or chiastic, depends on how erudite you'd like to be, structure. In a book with a chiastic structure, the most important part is not the beginning or the end, but what's in the middle. Leviticus is in the middle of the Torah, ergo, it's the most important part. So the summary there is you learned a really cool vocabulary word, but the middle is the most important. The scholar Mary Douglas argued that not only is Leviticus chiastic because it's in the middle of the whole Torah, Leviticus itself, the book itself, is chiastic, which tells us that the most important material in Leviticus is in the middle itself. And what's in the very, very middle of Leviticus? The Holiness Code. What's the Holiness Code? It tells us to be holy because God is holy. So if Leviticus is the middle, which is the heart of Torah, the holiness is the heart of Leviticus. And what is the heart of the quest for holiness? V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. And you shall love your neighbor or your other as yourself, for I am Adonai. Leviticus 19:18 is just about the very center of the Torah, the chiastic part, the middle of the Torah. So what does that mean? Turn it over. I'm going to skip this quote from Martin Buber, although he's one of my favorite scholars. So there's your gift to read at home. The holiness of the middle may be hidden. It's disguised between sacrifices and priests and laws of kashrut and all of these things. These details are sacrificial calves and turtle doves and grain offerings going up in smoke. But these are the same details that we deal with too. Committee meetings and play dates, preparing for Passover, teaching, all of the details of our lives. They may not look like priestly offerings. They may not look like grain offerings or other things, but they are the details of our lives. And in the middle, in the very, very middle, in the messiness, there is holiness. and there is love, and there is Leviticus. So sometimes we have to dig around for what seems irrelevant and messy to find what's most meaningful. And there, smack in the middle of Leviticus, is Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. You shall love your neighbor or your other as yourself. And so that is why I think we shouldn't skip Leviticus. When we skip the really hard stuff, when we skip what seems irrelevant, we might miss the most beautiful of messages. And so I think we should slog through it because you never know what you're going to find. And as we prepare for Passover, as we prepare, and it takes a lot of work, I hope this year, because Passover is unlike any other Passover, that you find something really beautiful. Shabbat Shalom.
Esa einai el harim. Esa einai el harim. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Me'ayin yavo, yavo Ezri. Where will my help come from? Where will my help come from? My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. My help will come from God, maker of heaven and earth. Where will my help come from? Where will my help come from?
We continue with Aleinu on page 283. Please rise in body or spirit. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu. Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo 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 echad.
Please be seated. Our memorial meditation is not found in your seat drawer. It's called Life After Death. These things I know, how the living go on living and how the dead go on living with them, so that in a forest, even a dead tree casts a shadow, and the leaves fall one by one, and the branches break in the wind, and the bark peels off slowly, and the trunk cracks, and the rain seeps in through the cracks, and the trunk falls to the ground, and the moss covers it. And in the spring, the rabbits find it and build their nest inside the dead tree, so that nothing is wasted in nature or in love. On this Shabbat, we remember Ronald H. Barron, Jack Bialowski Sr., Sidney Edward Cohn, Dorothy Curtis, Barbara Dobo, Morton R. Dworkin, Carrie G. Falk, Jack Farkas, Louis A. Fox, Linda Freeman, Malvina Friedman, Stanley M. Goldhammer, Benjamin Harris, Florence Kohlberg, Milton Lieberman, Allison S. Leventhal, Ben H. Newman, J. Nogi, Arthur Oppenheimer, Sylvia Presand, Herbert A. Rosenthal, Robert Singer Rosewater, Saul Sholnick, Leo B. Seidenfeld, James E. Shook, Alfred Katz Schultz, Jesse Halley Sinks, Caroline Skall, Ralph Elliott Stein, Ruth B. Stone, Molly Whites Turner, Eugene Wallens, Bruce Waterhouse Sr. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn to page 294 for the mourner's Kaddish. Please rise in body or spirit. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Bialma divra hirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye techol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudashah barechu. Le'ilam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom bimromav, huya asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, amen. Please be seated. And I believe I need to call up Dave Aaron for a few words of greetings and announcements.
I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know exactly what it is, but when I get up to the bema, I feel like I need to say something. So I'm going to say something. On page 59, we read a prayer, a prayer of thanksgiving. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, and so on. Each thing more extraordinary than the one preceding it. And here I am, standing, giving a very routine set of announcements, a set of thanks to the rabbi, to Annika, to the always supportive staff, to the congregation who actually supports this whole stuff, pretty routine, ordinary stuff. But if you get used to giving thanks for the ordinary, it opens you to see the extraordinary within the ordinary. The extraordinary melodic voice of Annika. The extraordinary, not so melodic perhaps, but full of wisdom and probably even more important than that, support in tough times. And speaking of extraordinary, last weekend we had a 13th anniversary, which went extremely well. I thought the lights flickering at the right point was a really nice touch. Yeah. It's a good thing I'm a doctor then, right? Yeah. So I need to thank Ro Green and Randy and David Nathanson for chairing the event. I don't think they were responsible for the lights flickering, but who knows? And the ladies behind the scenes who put the dinner together. Some other announcements. It's Mitzvah Day on Sunday, April 28th. It's Mitzvah Day every day, but please call or email the office to volunteer between 9 and 1 or whenever. The temple offices will be closing at 3 p.m. on Monday, April 22nd, and Tuesday, April 23rd for the first day of Passover, and April 29th for the last day. Rise and shine and give God the glory for preschool age kids and families is coming back and will be Saturday, 27th of April from 10:30 to 11:30 at the Orange Library. Please email Rabbi Shana to RSVP. Celebration of Learning is Friday, May 10th, and what a better way to celebrate our tent than having the ice cream truck come. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we're coming up on Earth Day. And we are responsible for the earth. We're also responsible for each other. So this weekend, bring your canned goods in and help replenish the JFSA food pantry. With that, Shabbat Shalom.
We are responsible for each other, and we are responsible for so much in the world. And so we are going to end with a closing song, Oseh Shalom, which is really part of the Mourner's Kaddish, believe it or not. If you look at the Mourner's Kaddish, you will recognize the last 5 lines, one, two, if I can count. Not only can I not sing, I also can't count. The fifth line down and the 4th line down from the bottom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. That's what we're going to sing. And it's another prayer for peace, but it's different because Shalom Rav asks God to bring peace upon us. Oseh Shalom is us. We have a responsibility to make peace. Oseh means do. Same page as the Kaddish, so page 294 towards the bottom. So we are responsible with God as God's partners for making peace. We sing together. It's actually the last 3 lines.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu.
rise for our benediction.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God lift each one of us up, and may God bring us shalom, peace, and wholeness. Amen. Shabbat shalom.